All right, Kristin, malpractice. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. So you remember when we used to do a segment called Use Our Show, and people could come on and use the Bert Show to help them out with whatever situation they had going on. So I'm basically going to use the show for some lawyer input. And I'm just going to read the text exchange I had with my friend because I think it best explains it. Hey, I wanted to share the story of what happened to your mom with the biopsy, collapsed lung, and the facility's failure to call her back. I would ask lawyers to call and offer advice, and if there's possible malpractice. Of course, I would never share this without your consent. I wouldn't use names. But if you don't want me to share, I absolutely won't. I was hoping y'all could get some legal advice this way. Love you. She responds, thanks for asking. I would love that, actually. Just don't mention we are in blank state. And so I said, got it. I'm putting it on our schedule for Monday. I'll keep names and state anonymous. Favor. Bullet point for me exactly what happened so I get the details right. Is this accurate? She went in for a mammogram. They found a mass. The mass was biopsied. They collapsed her lung, but she didn't know, wasn't informed of the risk. She called about chest pain. They never called her back. She ended up in the ER. They diagnosed her with a collapsed lung. She went back to the facility, and they confirmed. So sure enough, my friend's mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. They got it very early thanks to her mammogram. Ladies, go get yourself checked. Men too. So obviously she's shaken by this news. They immediately do a biopsy. And she goes in and she gets the biopsy and it hurts. But she's never had one before and just figured that, that's from where they pierced her and did the biopsy. So my friend went on and gave me a little more detail. She goes, we had lunch after she had the biopsy on the lump they found. She was shaken up and her chest hurt. She showed me the small piece of paper they gave her. Nothing mentioned risk of collapsed lung. So we called to be sure, and the lady sent us to voicemail. No one called, ever. The next day, Mom went to work and felt a little better. That night, she started to have a lot of trouble breathing and pain. She went to ER early in the morning. They almost knew immediately, and they were all shocked. I guess it's rare. First chest tube didn't work, so they had to do a CT scan guided chest tube procedure. That worked and all was good. We met with the doctor on Monday to go over MRI to ensure nothing had spread. That's when the doctor brought up the bill on their own. So they are saying her mom needs to pay for both these chest tubes, first one that didn't work, the one that did work, to fix the collapsed lung. And the way the doctor is doing it, she goes, well, since she has breast cancer stuff, she'll meet her deductible anyway. My friend is livid.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
My friend is livid. And her mom is the sweetest, just never wants to cause any problems and is just so easygoing and doesn't want to make a scene or doesn't want to say anything. But my friend's like, no, this is wrong. Like, you never told her the risk of this biopsy could be a collapsed lung. And then she calls to talk to somebody. And they never called, the facility that did the biopsy never calls her back. And she's walking around for 2 days with a collapsed lung.
That's what I was going to ask. Like for someone after a biopsy to call up and be like, I'm having chest pains. That's an emergency. Mm-hmm. That could be a heart attack. That could be so many different things. They sent her to voicemail and didn't call back when it possibly was her life in danger for 2 days.
So my friend's at the ER and her mom is there getting it. And the facility where she got the biopsy just happens to be right next door. So she goes next door and she's on her mom's paperwork so she can get the results. And the results of the biopsy were supposed to be in that day. So she goes in, she's like, yeah, I'm here for the results of my mom's biopsy. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're right next door at the hospital because you collapsed her lung when you did the biopsy.
Damn.
And so then the doctor comes out and she's like, oh, my God, I'm about to retire. I can't believe this has happened at the end of my career, making it about her when she told her this. And then she also said she called and they sent her to voicemail. So she fired the woman that worked at the front desk, and that's not what my friend wanted. So they just don't know what the next steps are, if there are next steps. Because I know with malpractice, whenever you have a procedure done, they have, when you sign paperwork, they're going to make sure they CYA. but she just feels like somebody needs to be held accountable because the way they completely mishandled this.
And not only be held accountable, but also make sure it doesn't happen to somebody else.
Right?
Here is Stephanie. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. So my name's Stephanie. I'm 35. I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer in August. And, I'm in the Atlanta metro area. And all I can say is, this process has been one for the books, to say the least, when it comes to insurance purposes and just what you're informed of, what not you're informed of.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to say is for your friend's mom, I am so sorry. And I feel for her because I'm about to start chemo. I had a double mastectomy and, just even through the chemo process, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know all the risks, and I just think, once I beat this, I fully intend on trying to, have introduced some sort of legislation or something. And if your friend's mom wants on board, or we can group together to try to figure out how to make this better.
I appreciate it. I'm so sorry for your diagnosis, and we're sending you all the best vibes in the world that you're just going to kick cancer's ass.
I'm going to put you on hold here, Stephanie, okay? Yeah, I think the first thing I do is I immediately contact an attorney, and if the mom doesn't want to do anything because she's just not that kind of person, I think the only tact is but you don't want this to happen to other people.
And if y'all can just send some good vibes and prayers to my friend and her mom. She's having surgery. She's going to have to do a low radiation, but like I said, they caught it early, so I'm sure everything will be fine, and she's going to kick cancer's ass too.
The Bert Show.